It's CCSD Today, your insider's guide to the Charleston County School District. This week, we head downtown and visit the schools of District 20. We talk with the 2017 Teacher of the Year, Mia Pace. Then, learn all about the middle school realignment at Sanders Clyde and Simmons Pinckney. CCSD Today starts right now.
Hello everybody and welcome to the newest edition of CCSD Today. I'm your host, Andy Pruitt. This installment is all about our District 20 schools, our downtown Charleston schools. We're here at Mitchell Elementary where we're starting the show, and after the break, we'll hear from the newest CCSD Teacher of the Year, Mia Pace, and talk about some of the great things that are happening here at Mitchell. From here, we'll bounce to Sanders Clyde School and speak with the new interim principal there, Rashawn Bradley. From there, we'll go to Simmons Pinckney Middle and speak with Principal Nate Nelson, and then we'll close out the show at Miminger Elementary and discuss some of the great news that's happened there this spring. So keep it here on CCSD Today. We'll be right back.
The law firm of Young Clement Rivers has been serving the Charleston Low Country since 1968. All of the lawyers of Young Clement Rivers are proud to be partners with the Charleston County School District. We're convinced that the hard work of the school district employees and staff prepares our young people to face the challenges of the future. We look forward to continuing our partnership and in helping the school district to meet its standard of excellence.
And welcome back to CCSD Today. We are joined by the principal here at Mitchell Elementary, Debbie Smith, and the computer lab teacher and 2017 CCSD Teacher of the Year, Mia Pace. Ladies, thank you for joining both of us. There's so many great things to discuss about what's happening here at Mitchell. And Principal Smith, I want to start with you. The partnerships that you have going on with the community and the partnerships that you have with local businesses and nonprofits. How is that leading to positive school climate, but also just results in general here at the school?
We have a lot of partnerships and volunteers that come in our school, and we say that that is really one of the major reasons why Mitchell is so successful. And some of those partnerships actually bring in volunteers that work with certain grade levels, and they pull them out and they work with them individually, and we have seen what a positive effect it's had on our test scores, on students' growth, because they've had additional volunteers that have come in. Charleston Hope does that with us. The other very large volunteer partnership that you see with us is behind us is the Green Heart Gardens, and they bring in volunteers that deal with every grade level from our CD classes through 5th grade, and they teach them lessons in the garden, and every class rotates through about once every 6 weeks. So that's been an additional one that is beneficial to us.
Mia, I want to ask you, these changes that maybe we've seen in the students over the past few years, you've been here for a few years now, what Debbie's talking about with these partnerships, how are you seeing it benefit you and other teachers in the classrooms throughout Mitchell?
Well, one of the things that the partnerships does for us is it provides positive adult interactions with our kids. So it builds mentorships even through the lessons in the garden, and it allows the kids some one-on-one time with adults. And we know that when students have positive relationships, it impacts their academic progress.
And Mia, you're involved in the promotion of the school. You serve as the publicity representative. What's it been like to be able to promote so many of these positive things on your guys' school website and on your Facebook page?
Well, it's very busy. There is a lot that goes on, and we have to keep up with making sure that people in the community know what we have going on at our school as far as the outside relationships. And it's nice to see what is happening outside of our school in the way that it does impact our students. So I've been here for 4 years, and so I've kind of watched some of our kids grow up through Green Heart. And when we get to put those things on the website or on Facebook, it brings some ownership to what they do into our building. We are not in charge of the lessons, but our teachers come and help facilitate. So we have a partnership with the Kiwanis Club, and every month our students are recognized as terrific kids, and that's something that we also promote on Facebook and on our website. And it's really neat to watch the children come in every month because they know it's a big celebration that their classmates have chosen for them to participate in. So when we have those partnerships, it makes an impact on our kids personally that does show in their academic growth.
And Debbie, I'm going to give you a chance to brag on Mia Pace a little bit. It's exciting to have the 2017 CCSD Teacher of the Year here at Mitchell Elementary. What has Mia done to help this school grow, not just in the classroom, but overall?
Well, I think one of the best qualities that Mia has is the fact that she wants to put that face on Mitchell of all of the great things that are going on in our school. So she's involved in so many of those things, whether it's our morning news, whether it's the actual computer classes, whether it's any of the programs going on, and also as our publicity chair, putting that positive word out, because we want people to realize everything positive going on here at Mitchell. The second part of that is that Mia just feels like she's the face of every teacher here. I know she wants to represent all of Charleston County, but she represents every teacher at Mitchell, and we felt like when Mia was named Teacher of the Year, that so was everybody else at Mitchell, and that's how she makes everybody feel.
So Mia, to piggyback on what Principal Smith was saying, when you accepted that award, there's a lot of pride that you experienced, your family experienced that night. But I would imagine for you, there's also responsibility to represent the teachers here at Mitchell and across the district, correct?
Yes, I think that overall, the position that I'm in is to make sure that no matter what the climate in the district is, that everyone understands that our teachers are working hard for all of our kids. From our child development teachers through our high school teachers, we come in every day and we set aside personal beliefs about our communities, about our administration, and we work really hard to make sure that our children are getting the academics that they need to show growth and to be successful. And I think sometimes we forget how hard it is to be a teacher. And I know personally that the teachers that work with me every day are committed to their task, no matter what's happening in their classroom or outside their classroom. And it's important to realize that a lot of people are working very hard across the district to ensure success for all of our students.
And just to close out, Principal Smith, just kind of coming back to this school and the relationship that you have to downtown Charleston, and maybe standing out as one of the schools here in District 20 that is creating a positive climate and creating a positive impact here in downtown Charleston. What have you seen, again, going back to the relationship that you guys are building with the community?
I think, again, not just with the community, but what we do inside the school. We have worked really hard on building that positive culture in the school through PBIS, which deals with positive behavior supports in place. That's filtered down through our students, and we've had one student that started this year with trying to turn around the bullying issue in a positive way. It got another one on board, so we have now Aaron's Courage that's through these two students that have really turned that positive focus on how we behave in school. So anybody in the community that's come in our school walks down the halls and says, "Oh, it's so quiet here. The students are all focused on their learning," and that is true because our students know they come here to learn in a positive environment. And I think that's what's really played out well at Mitchell.
So Principal Smith, Mia Pace, thank you for having me out here today. We have much more to come on CCSD today. We'll be right back.
Kids learn it at their own pace, to remediate on their own, see their own results, celebrate their successes right there.
I think it's easier for me to do things like online, like it captures my attention better than like doing it in books.
It's just made it easy. It is. It's made it easy, and the kids like it.
There are a lot of pictures. Sometimes it can be really funny, and some stories are make-believe.
I would never have believed that we would be a school that would be fully, implementing technology in every classroom. So we did it, and it's due to McGraw-Hill.
And welcome back to CCSD Today. We're now at Sanders Clyde School, and we're joined by the interim principal of Sanders Clyde School, Dr. Rashawn Bradley. Rashawn, good to have you here, and you haven't been here very long.
No.
Right? Got here in April.
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious, first of all, to be coming in midway through the school year and towards the end of the school year, how has it been for you, a career educator, coming in a situation that obviously probably not the easiest situations to come into?
Right. Well, coming into the situation, I knew that I had to be flexible, and knowing that my skill set that I was coming here with, I wanted to try to enhance what's going on, the great things that are happening here at Sanders Clyde, and how I could build on what already has been established at the school. And of course, coming in late in the school year is trying to establish relationships and just offering that support to the staff and to the community, and making myself available to my staff and to the community. So I've done things like, coffee with the principal, and, just trying to make sure that I'm visible and connecting with staff and students on a daily basis, so they, get to know who I am and understand my philosophy and know that I'm here for them.
So when you got here, you were coming from the Great White North.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
A career New York State native.
Yes, sir.
Right? You're from Rochester, New York. You went to the University of Buffalo. I'm just curious, when you live in a certain place and are from a certain place,
yes,
and you've been there a long time,
yes,
what goes into someone's mind that, I want to change, I want to move into a completely different part of the country?
Yes. Well, I would definitely have to say my wife had a huge impact on that. My wife is from Malaysia, so she's used to the warm climate. So I promised her one day, I said, I promise you I would get you out the snow. And so Charleston was a great opportunity for our family. Obviously, being a father of 7 children, we have a large family. And one of the things that's important for us is spending quality time. And when you're in upstate New York, it's cold for such a long
13 months out of the year, right?
Yeah, yes. It's hard to get outside and enjoy the outdoors. And so for my family and I, we knew that being close to a beach and being able to do a lot of outdoor activities was perfect for us. And then also looking at Charleston itself being one of the friendliest cities in the entire country, it just matched with our personality and our values. Obviously coming from a Christian-based family and how we were raised in the Christian home, the South, I was told that Charleston, you hear that the South is the belt.
The Bible Belt, right?
The Bible Belt.
And we're the holy city.
Yes,
right?
And Charleston is the buckle.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, well, that sounds perfect for us. So there's some wonderful churches here. We've been embraced like family. Honestly, from the day I arrived here in Charleston, people have extended, the right hand to me, saying, hey, if there's something you need, recommendations for living, restaurants, and whatnot, everyone's been so welcoming. So that's been huge for us.
It's also an opportunity to kind of lay out to everybody else that's watching your kind of vision or approach to education. You did mention the extending the hand to your staff and students and making yourself visible. But as far as the approach overall to education, can you kind of sum up how you view education and what you try to do from your position?
Absolutely. So for me, education is very, very important to the point where you have the opportunity to mold and influence a young person's life and the trajectory of where they're going to go. And the school needs to be a place where they feel safe and they're going to get the support that they need to flourish. And for us as educators and me as a principal, we want to create an environment where our kids can flourish. And we want to build on the skill set that they already come here with. And so for us, I want to make sure that our kids are in a place where they love to be, where they feel they can get that support. But even more so, for us, is we're cultivating the future. And for me, I don't take that lightly. I understand that for us, it's building meaningful relationships with our students. And I try to do that by building meaningful relationships with the people I work with every single day. And so for me, I have a counseling background. So understanding that relationships are very, very important. I can just tell you from my years' experience in education, I've been in education now going on 17 years. The number one thing I've seen that is vital for us to move our kids from good to great is being able to support them and believe in them and give them the support that they need. to be successful. And that's the same for me as a principal, supporting my teachers and supporting what they need. And so one of the things that I tried to do coming in as principal, I've had an opportunity to sit down with majority of my staff and did a 15-minute one-to-one. And I wanted to find out, how can I support you? What things do we need to do to take our school to the next level? And so offering that support, being there, is definitely something that's key for me.
Now, speaking of taking things to the next level, here at Sanders Clyde throughout the course of this year, there's been a real push when it comes to digital innovation and the personalized learning that comes along with that, using technology here at Sanders Clyde. What have you seen here since you've come here, and what stood out to you the most about how that's being used by your students and the staff here?
Yes, so one of the things I noticed right away, that every student has an iPad, and our testing is done with iPads. A lot of the work that's done is through using the technology, and every single classroom is equipped with smartboard technology. And so for me, coming into a district, a Title I school that has so many resources, and being able to expose our children to those resources at a very young age is definitely key, because as we know, a lot of the jobs that are in the future is definitely around technology and those who are proficient at utilizing technology. And so by us introducing and incorporating that technology and being proficient at using that technology, is preparing them for success in the future. So I really was very impressed when I saw that.
One thing I want to add about that too is that there's a perception that Title I schools may not have those resources, but those resources are being added across our district to Title I schools. And so for Sanders Clyde and for the community that's around Sanders Clyde, how important is it for people outside the school walls to understand that these opportunities exist for the children here?
Yes, very important. One of the things I can tell you, just because of oftentimes schools that are labeled Title I schools, people automatically think that they don't have good facilities or good equipment or textbooks. I can just tell you that that's a myth. That is not the case. When I came to this building, I saw how beautiful this building has been designed, and the facilities that our students have here. It's very important that, one, we take care of what we've been given to us, but also making sure that we are enhancing what's been given to us. So what's that look like on a day-to-day basis? One, we are making sure that our students are, one, taking care of our property, taking care of our school. When we see students drop trash, we said, excuse me, you need to pick that up, because this is our home, and we need to show them by modeling when they see their principal and their teachers taking care of the school. We have staff members who literally are wiping down walls and helping pitch in. It really sends a message that we care about our school, we care about our kids. And we want that when parents come in to our building, we want them to see a place that's welcoming. We want them to know that this is a place where we want to partner with you. We want you at the table, because I have that philosophy, it takes a village to raise a child. And the school being part of that village, the home being part of that village, and the community itself being part of that village, and all of us speaking the same language and being on the same page, working together for our kids, that's exactly what we're trying to aim for.
Now, this community is going to have to go through a little bit of an adjustment when it comes to this school, and the middle school students that currently attend here,
yes,
or that were set to attend middle school here, will now be going to Simmons Pinckney Middle School. And that's, again, something that you've had to adjust to on top of your adjustment of coming here
yes,
new.
Sir. Yes,
but
sir.
I guess from your understanding and what you're trying to encourage your school community to be aware of and to be excited about for that opportunity for the middle school students, why it will work out in the end for the students to go to Simmons Pinckney and have the opportunities that are over there.
Okay, so a couple of things that right away I've engaged my middle school students and asked them, how do you feel about making that transition? And a lot of them are excited to be in the building where they are with other students that are of their age bracket, and understanding that the opportunities that they have at a traditional middle school is going to be very different. Obviously with Mr. Nelson's doing over at Simmons Pinckney, and that whole STEAM initiative is going to be able to provide them with some resources that they would not necessarily get here at Sanders Clyde. And I can just tell you, there's a lot of excitement. There's been a lot of communication from both schools. And even when I had my coffee with the principal and sharing with our parents that our kids are going to a place where they're going to continue to build on the success that we've established here and transition from Simmons Pinckney to Burke and to college and or to being career ready. So helping them understand that what you're going into is going to further advance you for life. And so it's just a next progressional step in their life, of course. So, yeah.
Oh. Rashawn, we really thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us.
No problem.
Looking forward to your future here at Charleston County School
much.
District. And again, thank you for stepping in
No
midway through the course of the season, right?
All right.
All right.
Sir.
Well, we have more to come on CCSD today, so keep it right here.
Kiowa Cares represents a really unique way and an organized way for folks who live here on Kiowa to connect, partner, and help those who live in our neighborhood, which includes Johns and Wadmalaw Island.
And the idea was that many, many people who live on Kiowa very generously work as individuals in the community. But we felt as a community association, we needed to do more in a unified way to be good neighbors. And out of that came the idea of Kiowa Cares.
They brought volunteers, but most of all, they brought love. They showed love and they said, we want to be a good neighbor, and they have been a good neighbor to me and to this community.
Kiowa Cares quickly jumped on board and was really excited about the idea of supporting the local farmers and supporting the Johns Island community as well.
We're excited about the partnership, and we are in constant communication, updating them on things that we are working on, areas where I continue to see improvement, I share with them. And so it's like we are in tune, working together, one common goal, and it's all beginning to come together.
What it means to me to be a part of Kiowa Cares is I'm able to do things I wouldn't normally have done on my own. I get the sense of community when I work with them.
We're trying to put good people in touch with organizations that could use their help.
And welcome back to CCSD Today. We've moved venues, staying on District 20, but we're now here at Simmons Pinckney Middle School with the principal here, Nate Nelson. Nate, thanks for having us out here.
Thank you for being here.
You guys have been such gracious hosts when we come out here and talk to you about different things, or an opportunity to highlight some of the great things that are happening here. But Nate, I think for our viewers and for people that are watching, to just learn a little bit more about you, you've been here for the first 2 years of existence for this middle school. What's it been like as it really starts to build roots here and you really work on creating a culture of excellence here at Simmons Pinckney?
One of the things that's so rewarding is to see a dream come alive. And so we started last year. I opened the school for the district, and it's just been so rewarding to see our students come in. Our culture is steadily changing, getting better each day. We this year have put in some great programs for our students. AVID is one of the programs. All of our teachers are Capturing Kids Heart trained, which is really building relationships, and academics. We're one of the schools, middle schools, who are really soaring with our MAP scores. So it's just been rewarding to see this. We start from nothing, and now we just really have built a great team for our students.
The improvement that you're seeing in the classroom, can you kind of isolate a few reasons why? You mentioned that the relationship building that's happened here with the staff to the students, but also your STEAM initiative here that involves the arts. It's not just the STEM, but it's the STEAM when you throw the arts in there. Do you feel like the relationship building and the STEAM initiative here are what's creating that environment for the kids to start finding some success in the classroom?
Yes, I think so. And you know, part of our STEAM initiative is also the personalized learning part, where each of our students have the opportunity to learn at their own pace, and teachers are facilitating that learning. With our STEAM initiative, it's just been great to partner with communities. Many of our students don't have the opportunity, even though we're in Charleston, which is one of the small meccas for arts, to really participate in those arts opportunities. And so having art partnership come in and work with our students along with our teacher has just really helped foster this sense of for kids, I belong here and I can learn at my own pace. So I think it's been a great segue for our students here.
There's also a lot to live up to here when it comes to the name of the school.
Yes.
The late Reverend Clemente Pinckney, the late artist Philip Simmons.
Right.
That's a lot to live up to when you have that as the name of the school, those two gentlemen. Do you feel, though, that that also helps create a very special culture here, that for the administration, the staff, and the students to know about those two gentlemen?
It does, and especially because those two gentlemen were so active in the community in which our students are coming from. Reverend Pinckney, of course, the former pastor of Mother Emanuel, who was a big advocate for education, but many of our students also attend that church, as well as Mr. Philip Simmons, who Charleston is his canvas. So many of our students had the opportunity to walk by Mr. Simmons' home in the same neighborhood. So to know what those gentlemen represented in our communities, and they were great role models, we wanted to make sure that our students have somebody who they could identify with and somebody who has really advocated for education and the arts. And so it is something to live up to. Of course, as you walk in, you see the pictures that reminds us daily of the characteristics of those gentlemen. So it's been a great, rewarding experience for students, and we make sure that we honor them by carrying out some of the characteristics and traits that they left for not just our community, but for the world to see.
And then you also have this special relationship with Burke High School on the same campus. I'm just curious, what have you seen from the students that have been here the last 2 years, and what they appreciate and what they get to experience when they interact with the high school students just across the way?
One of the things that you find very interesting is students know how they best learn. And one of the things that our kids told us, because last year when we first started, we tried to still keep a lot of connections, and we do, with the high school, but our students wanted to have a middle school setting. They've even expressed the need and the desire for them to be set apart. As you know, most high schools have 90-minute classes. Middle school, we have about 60, 65 minutes. And so getting those middle school opportunities, those fine arts opportunity has been rewarding for our students. But there are also times that our 8th grade, since they're transitioning to the high school, have the opportunity to still take some high school classes. But our students have found that it's been most helpful for them to have that middle school experience. So we have a close relationship with Burke, but our students still want to be identified as middle schoolers. So,
for your experience now as a principal here, what do you feel like you have learned? Because obviously there's been a lot for you to adjust and have to react to and to excel at a quick pace. But what do you feel like you're establishing with your approach to education when it comes to being an administrator, when it comes to interacting and supporting your staff, and when it comes to supporting and hopefully providing better opportunities for the students here?
As a leader, one of the things that I'm learning is to always, at my decision making, always make sure that I have the students' best interests at heart, that students are coming first. Building that trust with students and letting them know that we are really here to make sure that we are doing right by you educationally and giving you world-class education. The other thing that I had to really learn is to be involved in the community and build that relationship with their families. As a leader, first thing I'm learning is you can't teach them unless you could reach them. And so really building relationships with students and letting them understand that we're here not to hold their hands to where they can't grow, but to make sure that we're holding their hands and letting them know that this is how when life throws something at you, this is how you respond to it. So I'm building that trust and letting students know that we have their best interests at heart first.
And you've been very involved in a very important project for our district in the transition of the middle school students from Sanders Clyde here to Simmons Pinckney. First, your take on why it's important that in District 20 there is one neighborhood middle school for all of our elementary schools to feed into.
Well, the first thing is that the community wanted it. And we've been working with our Sanders Clyde students this year, past 2 years now, but really this year, and they desire a middle school experience. As you know, Sanders Clyde was K through 8. And so it becomes quite challenging for administration to develop a different schedule outside of elementary and middle school. They don't have the opportunities like they would have for more exploratories in the arts in the elementary setting. And so students, first of all, wanted it. Community wanted it. And so I believe that it's important for our middle school students to have those experiences. When you get here, you probably have 8 art classes that you can take, which are exploratories. You have your dance, you have your drama, you have your band, you have several other opportunities, but you don't really have that opportunity in an elementary school setting to have all of those arts experience brought to you. So that was one of the things. And then for your social and emotional state, kids learn differently at different ages. And so allowing them to be around other students from this community, not just from one neighborhood, but from the peninsula, was very important also in us looking at being the only middle school, public middle school on the peninsula. So students wanted it, first of all. And I think that if the students wanted it and we could make it happen, we should make it happen.
And throughout this whole year, you and the administrators at Sanders Clyde have really worked well together to prepare the students. Right. It's not just something that, it's going to happen. There was some confusion at the end of last school year. So this year there was a more concentrated effort from the district and from here at the school at Simmons Pinckney and Sanders Clyde to get online, work with the community, and most importantly, work with the students so that they were prepared for this. Can you take us through some of the steps that have happened throughout the school year to both get the students ready and the community informed?
I'm going to start back, if you don't mind, from last spring, where there were some communication barriers between the community and the district, we felt. And so we've had public meetings, spoken with parents. We've had several public meetings. Our School Improvement Council have worked with their School Improvement Council starting from last May. This year we put together a transitional plan that included activities like today. Sanders Clyde 5th graders are coming over to be with us, but having opportunities for us to go over and fellowship with their students, and then their students coming over to visit with us. So several times, at least once a month, there's been some type of activities with both schools coming together and doing something. We've had some of our teachers and staff members go over there. I've visited Sanders Clyde frequently this year, just kind of walking by and getting to know the students getting to know me, really building that trust. We've had opportunities over here like career fairs, culinary arts, opportunities for students to come by and explore. Sanders Clyde 8th graders had the opportunity also to take CTE classes over here on our campuses. In addition to that, our fine arts teacher, who started this K-12 STEAM pipeline, our teachers went over to Sanders Clyde so that they could have a familiar face when they got over here. So it's just not something that we thought about and say, okay, tomorrow let's go ahead and perform it, make it happen, but we really thought about what would those students need for a great transition over here into the middle school setting. And so we began working with the former principal at the time, Ms. Judy Beard. Now Dr. Bradley has come aboard, and we've continued to work together, looking at ways that we can meet kids academically and making sure that they have the tools they need to be successful here at the middle school with Simmons Pinckney. So we've worked together quite a lot. Our constituent board has been very supportive of this. Prior to me coming, the reason I came down to Charleston is because the community said that they wanted a standalone middle school. And that meant taking all of the middle schools from the elementary schools and the high school so that you could be have one middle school here on our campus. So it's been very rewarding. It's just been good to see the community now say this is possible and we can do this. And so it's been even just yesterday, having parents from the elementary school say, I just want to come out and walk to school because my kids are coming here and I've heard a lot of great things about the school. So it's been very rewarding.
Well, Nate, we're very thankful for the time that you've allotted out of your busy schedule to talk with us, highlight some of these great things. Looking forward to seeing how next year works out with everybody.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it, and thank you for all you do to help us be #1 in our district.
All right, Nate Nelson, principal here at Simmons Pinckney Middle School. We'll be right back with more on CCSD Today.
I'm Jenna Dewan Tatum.
I'm Julia Ormond.
I'm Machen Amick.
And
I'm Rachel Boston.
Every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer.
Breast cancer will claim over 39,000 lives this year. But that won't be me. Or me.
I won't let that be me.
The end of breast cancer starts with me.
And you.
And you.
And you.
Go to mylifetime.com to get informed and involved.
Brought to you by Cruise Subaru of Charleston. You've got a friend in the car business.
Welcome back to CCSD Today. We are now at Memminger School of Global Studies, and we're joined with the principal, Dr. Abigail Woods. Abby, So thankful for having us out here today, and there's so many great things to talk about what's happened throughout the course of the spring here at Memminger, and so we're going to get right into it. First thing I want to ask you about was the International Baccalaureate accreditation that you guys have recently received. That is a big deal. We have now 2 schools in CCSD today that are now IB certified, Buse Academy, Memminger School of Global Studies. Can you go back and look at the work that was done to get there, and also kind of describe why? Why did you and why did the staff here want to be IB certified?
So the work started before I became the principal, and when I became the principal here 3 years ago, we had our initial training, which was a 3-day training in August, and so this has been a long journey of about 3 to 4 years. So the teachers had spent a lot of time building what they call the program of inquiry, and that has to meet lots of criteria and standards according to the IB World Organization. We had our official visit in November, and we got our official authorization in April. So we got some feedback around January to fix some schedules, and then we got our official stamp of approval saying good job. I think the district is had a vision for Memminger many years ago. I would say 5 to 6 years ago when the decision was made to move Memminger to an IB school, but it took time in the middle of building the facility and moving back downtown after they were in the north area and just getting the right staff on board. So it's been a long process.
It sounds awesome, but what goes into it? I mean, why would a district want a school to be IB certified?
Well, we are about 88% free and reduced lunch, and we also have personal magnet status, so we have a good blend of students. And I think the really amazing thing about that is that we've brought a lot of different kids together, both social emotional background, demographic, ethnicity, poverty levels, experiences. What the IB World program does, their ultimate goal, and this will be in the literature, is to make everybody internationally minded. So it isn't about living in West Ashley, it's about understanding how they affect the world and how they can influence what happens in their lives. And it's not about Charleston, it's about something bigger than them. And I think that's the key to providing a program like this to the array of students that we do. And we provide lots of experience and inquiry-based education. So one of the great things about Memminger is our location. So the kids get to walk everywhere here, and they start their units of study with what they call a provocation, and they do any number of things. They might walk to a museum and start a conversation about history, and that leads in kindergarten to personal histories, and they do this interview with their families, and everybody's bringing something different to the table. I think that's the beauty of the program that we have, is that we're pulling from so many different areas of Charleston and so many different walks of life and bringing it all together for everybody to have the same goal, which is to be internationally minded.
Do you think that this will affect the school culture more? Will it affect the curriculum? How will this IB program truly benefit and affect what we're seeing in the students here?
I think the biggest influence that it has is the way we create thinkers and how we get students to be more creative in their thinking, but also critical thinkers. And that's what we always talk about when we're talking about, those South Carolina characteristics. It's on that list, thinking about how do we get kids to think outside of the box. That's what the International Baccalaureate program does. The culture shift came from doing our social emotional learning program and capturing kids' hearts. So the beauty of what we do here is nothing happens in a silo. It's all interconnected, it's all layered upon each other, so that while we have some different initiatives, they all come together for the same goal.
You mentioned capturing kids' hearts. Excellent tie-in to the next question I wanted to bring up to you. You also received a national recognition from the Flippin Group. You're a Capturing Kids National Showcase School. What is that? Why pursue that? Because obviously it's also something that's very significant. There's only 2 schools in our district that had that honor for this school year, yourselves and R.B. Stahl High School.
So the Capturing Kids' Hearts program, we implemented my second year as the principal, and that program is about changing adult behaviors to change the culture of your school. And we brought in the Flippin Group, and we I told them this is kind of what we're doing. I have a fantastic team. My team is very, very strong individually. Collectively, we needed something to bring us together so that we were all moving in the right direction. And that's what Capturing Kids' Hearts has done. It's changed the culture of our building in the way it feels, like it's very welcoming. I think when people visit here from outside, they're always amazed about how warm people are here. The kids get greeted every morning and they're excited about being here. The parents are excited about being here. It's increased our parent involvement because I think they feel more welcome and coming to our school. It's also decreased our referrals significantly. So the year before I became a principal, the school had written about 600 referrals, and currently we're down to about 52. So that's a significant difference. I think that's one of the big indicators of a program that works really well. But also, for the flipping group aspect, I think that the flipping group every year chooses a small group of schools, and this is only the second year they've done it. So the first year they did it, RB Stahl had gotten it, and I think they had 11 schools that year. The second year, which is the current year that they just awarded, they had a bigger group. I think there were 40-something schools. But they work with thousands of schools, both nationally and internationally. And what they do is, we have a consultant that comes in, and she nominated us for that award. We had to fill out a survey in-house. We had to fill out some data. That we had another visit from them, actually. So our IB visit was in November, and our Capturing Kids' Hearts visit was in January, I believe, or possibly even December, which is a difficult time of year. And then we found out over spring break that we were chosen for that.
I'm just curious, I know about a couple of different things that have happened out throughout the course of the school year. At the beginning you had the Empathy for All campaign, and then I remember one of the students led a Remember Niger Coalition penny drive, coin drive here. Do you feel like the pursuit of the Capturing Kids' Hearts recognition led to that, or do you think that was already there and that was just something that helped reach that goal of becoming a Capturing Kids' Hearts National Showcase School?
So I think this is when we talk about things not operating in silos. They all kind of come together. And so Capturing Kids' Hearts and social emotional learning is the foundation of our culture, how we operate at Memminger. But in order for us to get to the higher levels of thinking that then translate to international thinking of, I want to send a girl in Africa to school, we have to overcome some of those social emotional learning trip-ups that we have. So things like, I can show empathy, I can understand how you feel, I can argue and disagree with you in a respectful way. My first reaction isn't always anger and hitting. I can process, we can agree to disagree, and we teach that when they're 3 and 4 here. Because we have taught those skills and because we have good self-monitoring, those kinds of things don't stand in the way of the bigger outside of the box thinking. So one doesn't happen without the other, I don't think. I think we build the foundation of a good school culture and social emotional learning, and having all of those good attributes about empathy and understanding how people would feel and thinking about others, and then we add the International Baccalaureate program, which takes it to the next level of, we don't think about Charleston, we think about the world.
These are kind of two big things going back to both the IB program and the Capturing Kids' Hearts National Showcase recognition. What kind of effect do you think that's having on the students here? Do they even recognize that? Or is it something more that the school can engage the community and say, look, you're sending your students, your children, to a very special place, and maybe that's where it's resonating in the community?
I think the kids are understanding more and more about how it's impacting themselves, about they're able to talk about self-monitoring and empathy at home, and that affects their parents. And we also have a home component to that, so we send some stuff home for the parents to get involved in the community. But I think like anything else, I think like any business or organization or anything that you're trying to do, I think it's grassroots word of mouth effort. I think when people come here and have a really good experience and you tell your friend about it, and we all want the best for our kids, then they're willing to say, I want to go check out Memminger. And they come and they tour, they come and they visit, and they see what we're doing, and they want to be a part of it.
Well, Abby, really appreciate you having us out here today, here at the end of the school year. Congratulations on all your success here so far. Look forward to hearing more about Memminger in the years to come.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this segment. We'll be right back to close out the show here on CCSD Today.
Some problems are tough,
Reaching your customers shouldn't be. Blue Wave and Comcast have the creative edge to make you stand out from the crowd and connect with your customers. Whether you need a commercial for television, video for your website, or a custom-made website, we are the easy solution for every advertising problem.
And that'll wrap it up for this special extended edition of CCSD Today, featuring our downtown District 20 schools. So many people to thank for this episode: the principal at Mitchell, Debbie Smith, and the new CCSD Teacher of the Year, Mia Pace. Also want to send a special thanks to Dr. Rashawn Bradley at Sanders Clyde School, and the principal at Simmons Pinckney Middle School, Nate Nelson, and of course the principal here at Memminger, Dr. Abby Woods. I'm Andy Pruitt. Thanks for watching CCSD Today. We'll see you next time.